Describe a useful skill you learned in a math class in school. Well, the most useful skill I have learned in math classes is the ability to think logically. In fact, it is difficult to say the logical thinking from which class specifically, but what can be affirmed is that logical thinking is gradually obtained through constantly practice in the math classes. My middle school math teacher once told me that math is the basic subject of all science. At that time, I couldn't understand the meaning of the teacher's sentence, but now I gradually understand. Math teaches people the ability to discover problems, quantify problems, and solve problems. And this is the logical thinking. When people learn to use a process like this to plan and think, we will find that many problems in life become easier to solve. For example, if you plan to shop, you don't know how to save money and be convenient. At that time, you can list several different shopping ways and then come up with several standards that you care about, such as the time and money spent on shopping. Then you can calculate the time and money which will spend on the online shopping comparing the offline shopping. You will find that online shopping may need to wait longer but save money. This time, choose the best solution according to your target. This is the charm of math and logical thinking.
Okay, here we go with the seventh and last video on the topic of describing a mathematical skill, the part 2 topic. Let's have a listen.
Describe a useful skill you learned in a math class in school. Well, the most useful skill I have learned in math classes is the ability to
Okay, so she has a problem with the TH sound. It always comes out as Z.
think logically. In fact, it is difficult to say the logical thinking from which class specifically.
I don't know why the logical thinking had a rising intonation. Why did her voice go up on that?
From which class
Ah, come on now. Let's try that again.
It's difficult to say the logical thinking.
The logical thinking. Okay, some problems here with the grammar. I think what she's trying to say is it's difficult to know in which class I learned logical thinking. Maybe. And I'm not sure why she starts off the sentence with in fact. That is not the right discourse marker to use here. So why not say although I've learned, what is the sentence here? The most useful skill I've learned in math class, there should be no ES there, is the ability to think logically, ambulance, although it's difficult to say in which class specifically. But what can... I'm kind of confused now. Let's listen to the rest.
But what can be affirmed is that
What can be affirmed? I don't know what that means. But what I am sure of is that logical thinking is gradually obtained through constant practice. But what I'm sure of is that logical thinking is gradually obtained through constant practice. Practice is a noun. You can't use an adverb. Constant practice.
logical thinking is gradually obtained through constantly practice in the math classes.
Again, it's just math class, not math classes.
My middle school math teacher once told me
that
math is the basic subject of all science.
Okay, math is a basic subject. Maybe fundamental is a better word here. Math is the fundamental subject of, I don't know what she means by the sides, if that's what she said. Not clear to me.
Of all science. At that time, I couldn't understand the meaning of the teacher's sentence.
Although it's not wrong to say the teacher's sentence, no one is ever going to say that. What people would usually say is, at that time, I couldn't understand what the teacher meant.
Sentence. But now I gradually understand.
Now and gradually don't really go together. You could say, but now I am gradually starting to understand. But now I'm gradually starting to understand. If you're going to use gradually, why not use ing?
Math teaches people the ability to discover problems, quantify problems,
problems,
and solve problems.
Solve problems.
And this is the logical thinking.
There's no the. And this is maybe the definition of logical thinking, but there's no the.
When people learn to use a process like this,
in this word, the stress is on the second syllable, process.
To plan and think, we will find
I can't understand the word she's saying here.
this to plan and
Did I say the second syllable? I meant the first syllable. Process. It's not process. Let's go back to this. No, I made a mistake. She is pronouncing it with the stress on the second syllable, but the word is pronounced process, not, I'm going to try now. It's not process, it's process.
process like this to plan and
I can't understand these two words.
think, we will find that many problems in life become easier to solve. For example, if you plan to shop, you don't know how to save money and be convenient.
You don't know how to save money and be convenient. I don't know what it means to be convenient. People cannot be convenient.
At that time, you can list several different shopping ways.
I just thought of something. I think what she's saying is lit. Okay, I think I figured out what she's trying to say. Let's have a listen now.
List several different shopping ways.
I think it's list, but her list comes out as least. Several different shopping ways, but ways comes out as waste. I think that's right.
And list several different shopping ways, and then come up with several standards that you care about.
Well, I don't think these are standards. If it's time and money spent on shopping, these are criteria. They're not standards.
Care about, such as the time and money spent on shopping. Then you can calculate the time and money which will spend on the online shopping.
Now, time and money cannot spend anything. Time and money cannot be the subject if you are using the active voice. Now, you could say you can calculate the time and money which you will spend on online shopping. You will spend. The spend can take the subject you, but spend cannot take the subject of time and money. In Chinese, it's okay. In English, it's not.
Comparing the offline shopping.
compared to, not comparing. Compared to offline shopping.
Offline shopping. You will find that online shopping may need to wait longer.
And here we have the same thing. Online shopping cannot wait. So you will find that if you shop online, you may need to wait longer. The need can take the subject you, but need cannot take the subject online shopping.
Need to wait longer, but save money.
Save, not say, save.
This time, choose the best solution according to your target.
Again, it's not a target. These things that you mentioned, time and money spent, these are your criteria. These are not targets.
Time, choose the best solution according to your target. This is the charm of math and logical thinking.
And also the word is math, not mass. It's math.
Charm of math and logical thinking.
There's no S in math. All right, let's look at some scores. For fluency and coherence is 6 due to the occasional loss of coherence. And let's see where that happened. Here where she talks about gradually starting to understand the beauty of math, I suppose. She talks about these problems. Her message here doesn't come across very clearly when she talks about these problems. She doesn't explain the problems or how these problems are solved. When people, and this part about the process, it's not very clear what she's trying to say here. She gives an example of shopping, but I don't know what the shopping illustrates. Which of these points does the shopping example illustrate? It's not clear to me. As far as cohesive features go, well, we have words like then, you will find, this time, and just some basic words like this. As far as lexical resource goes, let's see, we have solution, target, it's an inappropriate word. The offline shopping, I wouldn't call it offline shopping, but I guess a lot of people do. We've got the word calculate. What else do we have? Standard, which I think is not the right word. And be convenient. Again, this is not the right word. Process. Logical thinking is not bad. We've got quantify. So it's a pretty good mix of vocabulary, although sometimes she does use the wrong word. As for grammar, let's see, rarely cause comprehension problems. The only time that grammar really caused comprehension problems was when she put let's see, where is it now? Like here, she put online shopping in the subject position. That makes it a little bit difficult to understand if you are not used to Chinese grammar. And then for pronunciation, usually she is able to pronounce words quite clearly, but there were just too many examples of words she pronounced that are really, really difficult to understand. Too many of those. I mean, if she mispronounces that, it comes out as that, I can still get it. But sometimes I really have no idea. And that does cause communication problems. So overall, 5.5.